Thank you so much for being willing to share with us today. You've had a huge emotional journey, and Kate told us a little bit about that. Do you want to just do a brief refresh for those who weren't here last week?
Yeah, so basically October 2006, I had a major car accident. Police said it was a 206-kilometre impact. I was going 104 and the semi-trailer truck was going 102. It was my fault. I veered onto the wrong side of the road and, it was a head-on collision with a semi-trailer.
So do you remember any of it?
Yeah, look, I do remember quite a bit of it. I remember about half an hour beforehand going out for lunch at KFC with one of my best mates.
That's probably the problem.
Yeah. Who loves KFC? Yes, I'm a KFC fan. And I remember very clearly us saying goodbye to this guy. And, we don't normally do this, but on this particular day we shook hands. I remember very clearly it was one of those handshakes that our hands just locked. That was the last handshake I ever had. I remember that so clearly. And then I remember the actual, the noise of the impact. I remember people running over towards the car. I remember the look on their faces. I remember people, after about 10 minutes, there was a person there sitting there next to me, another person there sitting behind me, just sort of holding my head up, and they were trying to keep me awake and all that. So, yeah, I actually had quite a few injuries, including obviously an amputated right arm, 6 broken ribs, lacerated liver, punctured kidney. Both of my lungs were collapsing. I broke my femur, lost my kneecap, broke my fibula, broke my ankle. And also, you guys need to pray for me about this one. I actually lost my big toenail. I'm really devastated.
So as long as you get your toenail back, you'll be right. We don't have to pray for the arm to regrow.
Yeah.
That was so cool. So, like Kate shared last week, you're in a coma. Did you see Kate after the accident before you went into the coma, or by the time she got there, were you in the coma?
Yeah, I was already in an induced coma. So the first time I saw Kate was about 6-7 days after I woke up after the coma. Yeah.
When you woke up, what were those thoughts that were running through your head? Did you have any thoughts? Did you know what was going on?
I actually thought I was living a dream. I just thought this is a nightmare. This is just a movie that I'm watching. I'm going to wake up from this. It's all right. So in a way, I was actually in denial for more than 24 hours. I thought, look, this isn't really reality until such time as it did hit. When it did hit, that was a real tough time in my life.
So those normal stages of grieving, you've been through all of those. You've got your denial, your anger, all of those. You've been through them all. Yeah,
I suppose the denial went for a bit over a day, and then I didn't really feel angry at all. I just couldn't believe it, because before my accident, I was a highly energetic person. I did hip hop dancing. I taught hip hop dancing. I could do the backflip. I was a runner. I enjoyed walking, running. Also, I was a guitarist. I was a muso, piano, etc. So, I was quite a motivated, talented guy. And then just suddenly, the doctors said to me initially, they said, Sam, you will never be able to walk ever again. You're going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. Sam, we understand that you've got 2 little girls. You'll never be able to walk your little girls down the aisle on their wedding day. Sam, we understand that you've been playing the guitar ever since you were 7 years old. You will never be able to play the guitar ever again. They were pretty hard things to try and comprehend what the doctors were saying. Just suddenly, it was like suddenly.
So in that moment, did you ever think of just giving up? Like Tim's just been talking about euthanasia. Was that ever a thought that was there? Or was God in that moment?
The truck driver, he actually thought I was committing suicide. Because here is a guy going 104 k's an hour straight into a semi-trailer. He thought I was committing suicide. Obviously I wasn't. But no, the thought of giving up has never ever crossed my mind, As I was saying, after I'd realised what had happened after about 24 hours after I came out of a coma, for about 2 days straight. I just cried. Just cried and cried and cried. I was going through pillow after pillow just from my tears. Because, again, I didn't realise what had happened. And when I realised what had happened, I just couldn't believe it. But until after those 2 days of crying, I've never, ever looked back.